What's up, everybody? Let's see here. What's up? Yes, my mic is working this time. One day I'm gonna figure this thing out, but I think I figured it out this time. Yeah, my mic appears to be working. So good to see you. I have got my coffee. I hope you got yours. I hope it's decaf because it's late on the East Coast. And this is Coffee with the Cowbell. And if this is your first time, I am Ricardo Wilkins, your resident Teams geek. And that's what I do. I just come here and geek out on teams and talk to those of us who enjoy working with teams so much that we want to hear about it at 9 p.m. Eastern. And so hopefully that's you, or you're here for some other reason. And in any case, you should hang out with me. So this week, I am actually, if I can switch to this. Wrong one. I am streaming, as I've said in the past, on 5 different places. So my YouTube channel, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. So you may be watching live from one of those places or watching on demand later, probably on the YouTube channel. But tonight I am also streaming on another YouTube channel affiliate. The guy that runs this, Surface Pro Bro, he looks just like me. It is me, if that wasn't clear. But yeah, I'm streaming on my Surface Pro Bro channel. So I do also have another website, surfaceprobro.com, where I talk about Surface. And since I've been talking a lot more about Surface Duo and Teams lately, just like last time with Stacy, and Stacy will be back on this channel here in the future, but I thought I'd stream out to the Surface Pro Bro site as well. So oops, I always do that. So yeah, so we're at 6. We're streaming at 6 locations this time. So you got plenty of ways to connect with me here tonight. So wherever you're coming from, I'm trying my best to monitor chat in those 6 areas. I can't guarantee that I'm doing it successfully. I think I am. So if you are out there and want to chat or say something, hopefully I see it in one of these 60,000 windows that I have open. And if so, I will try to, say something back. All right. So yeah, just chatting with you about teams, and this time, so it's been a while. I think it's been a couple weeks. I actually was on vacation with the family, so that would explain last week's absence if you were missing me. I'm sure you were. But since then, there has been Inspire that occurred this week, actually. And for those of you keeping score with, all things teams and new roadmap items, new, features that are coming out, you may have seen some of that talk. And so I'm going to switch here. This is the tech community site where, it's one of many places you could go to get a summary of the announcements. And I'm not going to go through all of them, but it felt like I couldn't just ignore some of the cool stuff that's been recently talked about. Not necessarily released yet, but at least announced, and coming. And so one of the exciting ones is Excel Live. Let's see, can I get it up? Can't really get a bigger one, but essentially what that is bringing up an Excel document in a Teams meeting. Obviously we could do that today. What's different is that everyone in the meeting is able to interact with it in real time. So what you're hopefully seeing there, can I Maybe I could make that a little bigger. No, not really. But hopefully what you're seeing there is each of those colored boxes is a different user. You know, it's their cursor on those particular cells. So certainly, you know, Excel, like all of Office, has real-time collaboration powered by SharePoint and all that good stuff. So you can certainly real-time collaborate on a spreadsheet. But before Excel Live, that would be you know, all of those people having access to the document, you know, through Teams or whatever, and kind of having it open on their end, each of them, and interacting with it. That would give you the same result, except this is going to be a lot more convenient. I just go into Teams meeting and interact with it through Teams. So that's kind of what that's really talking about there. So that's an exciting one. There is a short video on the Microsoft Teams channel on YouTube that talks about that and a couple other things too. Collaborative annotation, same kind of concept, right? Being able to interact with the sharing through you know, all through Teams, right? In this case, they're showing a whiteboard, and those are three people really, I guess, writing and interacting with it at the same time. And then the other one I thought were worth mentioning. Where was that? Oh, of course, I got to mention that shared channels was talked about. If you've watched, you know, me and pay attention to what I talk about, I went on and on about shared channels as the, you know, best thing since sliced bread. And so, and I actually, you know, if you want to check the YouTube channel, you'll see older episodes where I actually demoed it when it was in preview. And so, you know, that was announced, and that should be coming soon to your client if it's not there already. So I suspect I'll talk more about that in the future, because again, I really do think that's a game changer for collaboration, especially with external participants, but also with even the people in your org. And then the last one I'll mention here, again, I'm not talking all of them, there was more announcements than this, but this one is also kind of cool too. The ability to put a video into your, you know, your chat. So instead of typing out your message, create a short video and embed that video right there. And so, I mean, we had actually audio clips that you could add into chat, especially if you're on mobile, like Surface Duo or any Android phone or iOS. You could do a audio clip already, but now a video clip. Just, you know, more ways to engage. So that's kind of cool. I've yet to try that. I almost tried that today at work with some coworkers, just to see how they would react. Because I think with the folks I work with, we're in front of Teams all day. We're, you know, got our mics and headsets and whatever already ready to go. So we're ready to consume an audio thing, right? I wonder if other people might, you know, be at their desk with speakers off, and so if I send them a video clip, they got to turn on. It's kind of like when you post something and you put on there, you know, turn your speakers on, right? Will they have to turn their speakers on in order to get? I don't know. I'm gonna try it though, and I'll let you know how my colleagues respond to it, because I think it could be cool. I also asked myself, you know, would this help me, you know, like, is it faster, right? I could type out everything I want to say, or I could, you know, do a video clip and just talk. And could it be more efficient than typing? Except that I type pretty fast. So I don't know. And then of course typing helps me think about what I'm going to say. But I do suspect there might be some value to, especially with colleagues, right? Just say what I need to say, even if I'm not saying it perfectly. That could be a lot quicker actually than typing up, especially if it's a big old paragraph I was about to type. If I just say it on video, that might be more effective. So I am going to try it out, like in real life, And that might be a future topic, as to see how people respond to that. So look out for that in a future session. And let me actually go back, because another one that I have been trying out is this chatting with yourself. So basically now they're allowing you to be able, as this is saying, to chat with yourself. Basically, and it's hard to see here, but that top person in the pinned list here is the actual user of Teams, Daniela in this case. So she's chatting with herself, and you say, why would I want to do that? Things like could be your own personal journal, putting notes there, even trying things out in Teams, trying something out in chat before you try it out elsewhere. Like, for instance, this video chat, right? I can send a video chat to myself to see what is this going to look like, and then go over to, and use it somewhere else. So I have been using that. I have myself pinned at the top of my Teams interface, and it's been useful. It's especially been useful for trying out Loop a little more. Loop, if you may remember, is like an interactive real time like live interactive component, and I have been using the chat with myself feature to start my loop there, and then once I feel like I've got enough going, then I share that loop elsewhere, if that makes sense. And in fact, I wonder if I can show that actually. So let me switch. Let me go here. I haven't checked to see if my demo tenant here actually has the chat with yourself yet. So let's find out together. So I'm going to hit chat, and I'm going to type my name in. And yes, that's me. There you go. Oops, now where'd it go? Where did it go? Okay. Let's see what's going on here. When this thing will work, my demo environment will work perfectly when nobody's watching, and then when you're trying to demo something, what is going on here? It was just fine a second ago. I'm going to do this and quit, and then I'm gonna come back in. Okay, little hiccup, that's okay. All right. Oh, that's what it is. It actually wasn't broken. I am my Zoom level, it was 145, and Teams was doing what it was supposed to, which is get rid of those and make them fly out on demand, and I just didn't realize that. So there's a little tip for you. I actually meant to do that to show you a tip, a best practice, right? So why would I zoom in like this? Well, to see the chat better. In my case, I use Teams in a secondary monitor actually up there, and so I actually do need the text to be a little bigger, so I don't have to strain to see it. So that's why I would do that, and then so this helps from a real estate perspective to get rid of those things unless I need them. So yes, Teams is doing exactly what it was supposed to. All right, but let me take that away for a second because it's throwing me off. Let's see. Take my zoom down to that. All right, and then let's try chatting with myself again. So that's Ricardo, and that's me. All right, and now this part may not be by design. It keeps giving up on me. It starts and then it goes away. I don't know what's up with that. try one more time because I am stubborn. You can see it try. So something's up there. It was telling me this is your space to, do what you need to do. What if let's try to, let's go, let's see if we could pop that out. Okay, I'm gonna go into settings here. I want to just try something on the fly. I want it. It's not where I want it to be. All right, I can't do it on the fly. There's this setting that I couldn't remember. I can't remember how to get to it. So we're gonna skip that part. But so it looks like it might be there. Maybe I need to update my client. Not sure. But again, chatting with yourself. I think the whole point of why I was going there though was to just show the loop component, which you see down here, the little loop symbol. And I've shown this in the past, but you get one started. Let's say I just want to start with a paragraph. And that's what I would do, is get it started, and then once I've got it going, then I would share it out in another chat and kind of go from there. So that's really all of that troubleshooting, just to kind of show that. So anyway, so cool. So yeah, so those are some Inspire announcements. Like I said, you can just do a search, Microsoft Teams Inspire. You'll get plenty of articles talking about the announcements in great detail, either from Microsoft or from all the cool bloggers that are out there. So that happened this week. I felt compelled to at least mention it. Okay. Then the other thing I was thinking about as well, from a best practice perspective, is related to something that I saw as I switched to my demo environment, that I was actually seeing actually in real life, right? So I'm in tons of different types of teams with different types of topics. Some are work teams, and some are more social areas, right? And we have many places like that. It could be Yammer you're using, or it could be Teams or SharePoint even. In this case, it was an area that is open for different types of conversations. And this one had a conversation that really had a lot of engagement. So in this case, it was about, by the time I checked it last, it was at 600 and some comments or posts in that one thread about that one topic. I've actually been in a thread. It was a recurring meeting that had over 2,000 comments. So just FYI, but this one was 600 plus comments, and actually I think I can probably find some demo content with something that has a few. Let's see. I'm pretty sure I've got one in here. The point though, so this is good. So kind of imagine, let me make this a little bigger. Kind of imagine this conversation here, and instead of 6 replies, it was 600, right? And that's really not a problem here because it was collapsed. It was, that's how I knew it was 600. I didn't count them. It counted it for me. So it was collapsed. It wasn't like it was bothering me or taking up my view, right? Now I could certainly have opened it up and saw, the latest of that list of 600 comments. And, so people were going at it. Where I bring this up and why I thought it was interesting from a best practice perspective is that eventually someone came on and said something to the effect of, I think we've kind of exhausted, or I think we've said everything we need to say about this topic. I can't remember the exact words, but it was essentially a request to stop talking about it. And the way I took it was, too many messages, or something to that effect, right? It was just getting too big. And then I just thought to myself, I'm just like, how is that a thing, right? How can it be too big? In some way, this is bothering you, such that you're requesting that we kind of squash the conversation. And my thought was that person probably was not a fan of the pings, whether it was pop-ups, whether it was bold, something showing up in her feed, whatever it may be. I'm guessing she wasn't a fan of all of the, I'll call it noise, right, from that conversation. So, especially because of the topic they were talking about, it just didn't sit well with me. I was like, I'm just thinking like you should just allow that kind of conversation to continue, and it shouldn't bother anybody because there are controls in Teams to, if you don't want to get pinged, or if you consider a conversation noise, there's things you can do to control that. Case in point, here's a conversation. Obviously, it's only got 6 replies, but if it was getting out of hand, you can see right here there is a turn off notifications. I can just, with one click, you'll only get notified if someone directly mentions you or reacts to your message in this conversation. In other words, the 600 messages can continue to go on, and you can, easily ignore it, but also with the confidence of knowing you're not going to miss out on something, because if somebody in that long thread happened to call you out, or wanted your input or wanted to say something to you, if they use the app mention, as they should, you're going to get that, even though you've turned off notifications. Okay. And then, of course, and maybe you're turning it off for a while because you're busy, and then you can come back here and turn it back on if you want. You'll get notified for all replies in this conversation. So I just suspect that this very simple feature, very useful feature, just was not known. Because in my mind, if we know about this feature, why would you ever make a conversation stop, right? As long as there's enough memory in the cloud to handle the messages, just let them have at it, especially, I don't know. So, I thought that was, could have been solved better just with a little, Teams training. What they could also have done, and, there's channel notifications, right? Where instead of getting all activity, I could come in here and say, and this is a favorite one of mine, I want all posts, but not the replies. Just uncheck that. That means in that channel, I'll get the first post, which gives me a chance to get notified about it, look at it, see if it's of interest to me, but I don't get all the replies unless I want them. And so, I get to decide whether I want to go in and turn on and turn off notifications on that conversation. So that's another option that they could have done as well. Yep. So again, as from a best practice perspective, and so that may happen to you, and it doesn't have to be. This one happened to be kind of a social topic, not so much like work related. But again, in your situation, you could have a work related thread that's, really getting a lot of engagement that you're not necessarily interested in. And you can use this feature. In the world of email, so you would say like, how would I control that in email? And many people may not know about this either. Because certainly before there was Teams, that's the wrong thing. There was, before there was Teams chat, there was certainly email. And you could certainly have a thread, and you've probably been a part of a nightmare thread where they're going at it, and you're getting all these inboxes. And in my opinion, it is a little more stressful in email than in chat, right? chat, it's just a little, not necessarily even a pop-up, but I mean, even if something's going bold in the channel or something, why would that bother me? But in email, I get it, right? These threads going on. Now, what you've always had, if you didn't know it, is for any particular conversation, you've got ignore. I don't know if you've ever used this, but what it does essentially is deletes the conversation, and any of the following or future emails to that conversation, you never see it. Goes right to the deleted folder. And so that's a way of turning something off. And the classic example is, happy birthday, Mary, and then depending on how big your org, 50 people saying, yay, happy birthday, Mary, all that good stuff. Not that we're not happy for Mary, but I don't really want all those emails. The downside, unlike Teams, is, ignore is really ignore and delete. At least with Teams, it stays there, and I can see it, go back and see it at any time. To do the same with email, I'd have to go into delete it and restore it or something like that. Bring it back into the inbox. So it's a little more permanent in Outlook. But again, in case you didn't know that was there, that ignore button is there for a similar purpose as chat. So again, if nothing else, just kind of let this be a reminder of the powerful settings. And I didn't even go into the actual settings. There's more notification settings there as well, but plenty of ways for you to manage the volume in Teams, so you don't necessarily have to suffer with a lot of noise from Teams. You can tell Teams how loud or how quiet you want it to be for you. All right, so that's my quick little best practice for this episode of Coffee with the Cowbell, and hope to be back next week. And every week I'm trying to be more consistent, so feel free to join me next time for Coffee with the Cowbell.